live stream. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Are we live? It's still saying it's setting up. So, all right. I think we are live. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to Fearless Friday. This is the amazing Margaret DiMarzio, and I am so lucky to have her here with us today because not only is she an amazing network marketing leader, she's my leader. So I was like, yay, we have to have her. So I'll give you a quick backstory. I was at an event selling, actually with Mary Kay, which you guys know me from Mary Kay and from Color Street. So every time I did an event as Mary Kay, I would end up at the Color Street booth and I would end up buying mass quantities of Color Street. So I was at this event. My friend Jen was there and Margaret was there. And I think I met her for like, it had to be like 5 minutes. It was super fast. And I had signed up, I think under someone. And then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was so, hot mess like I am normally. But I had signed up and then I kind of fell off the radar. But when I wanted to, hey, Kim's here. I wanted to sign up again. I remembered Margaret. So imagine meeting someone for 5 minutes and they left, and it's such an impression on you that a year later, you're like, you know what? That's the person that stuck out in my brain. So I reached out to her and she was an executive director at that point. And I said, after the first conversation with her, I was like, this is the person that I wanna hitch my wagon to. So and watching her journey, I know she's a mom and working in healthcare and, wearing many hats and balancing many things. And she's always just graceful and helpful and personable and like the perfect model of like what network marketing should be. So without further ado, I give you Margaret, Executive Director of Color Street.
Thank you for your introduction. That was very, very sweet and kind. And you're right. Yes, I do wear a lot of hats, but the hats are fun to wear, right? It's like it gives you the butterflies in your stomach sometimes. And I feel like those butterflies give you life. And I think that's sometimes hard to do when you're an adult, right? Because you get like into the monotony of just life itself, right? So and then Dana came along and even gave me more butterflies, right? Because she's so amazing. It's like your personality just like shines. It's like, it's so awesome that you came into my life. I was like, oh, this girl, it's like, she's just awesome.
And it's funny because I was like, yeah, I just love Color Street. I have so much of it. I really just want to buy it at wholesale. And I'm probably not going to really sell it. And I'm probably not going to recruit because I'm so into my other company. And then all of a sudden, what was it, like 2 weeks later, I made like a bunch of sales and recruited somebody and she was like, okay. I was like,
I think we have a star on our hands. I'm like, I think we just need to change that mindset just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely all about the mindset, right? I mean, that's really, that's the number one piece. But tell us a little bit about, you have such a great story of your journey of working at the hospital to being full-time and making, not only making a better income and having that freedom that comes along with network marketing, but all the other awesome things that kind of came along with that for you. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's kind of a funny journey. Now that I look back, I'm like, whoa, it's been a crazy 4 years, when I was so I worked at Children's Hospital in Boston for over 20 years. And there was a coworker who was working for Beachbody. And she kept on saying, you should join, because I was doing the workouts, drinking the drinks, but I had 3 small kids and I owned my own photography business, which was taking up a lot of my time. But what I realized is that she was working from her phone. And I was off on location and I was doing the marketing and I was doing the shooting. And then I had to, I was everything. And my husband said to me, Margaret, I know you love photography. Like, I know you love that, but the ROI is not good and you're never going to get rich. And not that it was like, I need to be rich, but I also needed to think to myself, where am I spending my time when I have 3 little ones in the house and I'm already working at the hospital? Do I really want to put so much time and effort into this at this moment in time? What I really wanted is to get my time freedom back.
Yeah.
Right. So that was what kind of like lured me into what she was doing, because I was like, wow, she's at the hospital, she's on lunch, and she's working her business. And I can't really work my photography business here. You know, like it was like I couldn't work it in those little pockets of time that a network marketer could work their business in.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you know, so I actually joined with her. Now it took 4 years for her to convince me.
Wow.
Now think about how crazy that is, right? Because how many times do people just ask somebody once and they say no, and then they move on?
Right. Right.
You never know what's going on in somebody's life at a certain period of time. So always remember, even if somebody is a dead set no, a year, 2 years, a month, a week, after that, things in their life could change dramatically where they might need you in your business opportunity. So don't ever forget that.
Yes, that's
Right?
such a good point too, because imagine if, you know, imagine if if the woman that recruited Margaret for Beachbody had given up, right? I would have, then that has a trickle down effect, right? So she would never joined that. She would have never been in network marketing. She would have never discovered Color Street. I would have never met her, and the people on my team would have never met me. So there's so many awesome things that come out of it. I think we get caught up in our brains of like, oh, we prejudge, right? And we say, oh no, that person has kids. Oh no, that person has a full-time job. Or that person is a, you know, an executive. Or we make up all these reasons that may not really be true, right? And we talk ourselves out of why we would present a business opportunity. And, you know, I think it's important to really look at what comes out of that opportunity. What happened what is that domino effect that happened? And one of those things is we're here today with you, right?
Yeah. I mean, think about how cool that is. Like, and you know, when I joined that Beachbody company, I didn't get the correct training that I should have, but I did see people in the company having success. So I saw what network marketing could do if you had the correct tools and systems behind it, which I just knew I didn't have at that moment in time. So when somebody else that I was following actually for photography said that she was starting a new business opportunity, and I never said hello to her, like I just followed her on Instagram just because I loved her photography work. But I was watching her and watching her journey, and I saw how successful she was just as a person. Like she was like a serial entrepreneur. She owned like a t-shirt company on Instagram. So I actually reached out to her and said, you don't know who I am, but what are you doing? Like, what is this new opportunity? And that was Color Street. And she said, let me send you a sample. I tried it on and I said to myself, every woman needs this in their bag. Even if it's just for emergencies. And so at that point, I mean, think about it. I was with Beachbody. I'm a fitness addict. I love working out. I feel like I'm more aligned with that. But what I realized was with Color Street and having, you know, nail polish, it was consumable, but it was also affordable. And it was also going to really, I mean, in an instant, it could help somebody, right? Like you put nail polish on and it gives you confidence. So I aligned myself, right, with a company that I felt was going to do amazing things for women, you know, or men, right? Whoever wants to wear the nail polish. Right? Like it doesn't matter. Whoever likes it can wear it.
One of my favorite things, I think, with Color Street so far I think I'm going on 2 years now.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's 2 years.
Wow.
but I was at an event and it was an outdoor event, and this guy came up to my booth. His wife had come over and had
Mhm.
talked to me, and she said, "We're doing a Halloween event and we want to match. Do you have any Halloween nails?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I had the whole thing, you know." So she looked through them. So then the husband came over and he looked around and he introduced himself. So she ended up coming back. She ended up buying nails and he put them on at the event and came over and said, "These are so awesome and they're so easy." And I took his picture and I said, "Can I put you in my VIP group? Can I take a picture, put you in my VIP group?" And everybody thought it was so cool because he was like this big, like manly man with the beard and like the biker jacket. I mean, he looked like he had just stepped off like a Harley, right? And here he is, like with his nails. And he was so proud that him and his wife matched and they were going to matching nails. And I was like, this is so awesome. Like,
Mhm.
you know, there's so many negative things that hit us in life in general, and especially in network marketing. But the moments like that make all those negative things just go away. Like, it was so
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so, so true. But just remember though, too, like I didn't have like any knowledge. I came from the medical background, photography, and I jumped into
Yep.
network marketing. And the only, like, the biggest piece of advice I would tell people is A, you don't need experience. So get that out of
Yeah.
your head, right? You really
Yeah.
don't need experience in sales or anything like that. I mean, I
Yep.
would align yourself with somebody that maybe has a little bit of knowledge of what they're doing in network marketing. Like I wouldn't just jump on to any network marketing train like you would for a business or a job, right? If you're going out for a job, you're going to look to see like what are all the details, right? Same thing for network marketing. I feel like a lot of people jump on because maybe their friend is doing it or something like that, which
Yes.
is fine. Just make sure that your friend has the knowledge behind the business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I
Right.
think that's where a lot of people kind of, that's where the failure rate comes in, where it's
Mhm.
like, okay, they just jumped on because, you know, their friend was doing it and their friend told them to hop on and now they're kind of like in a pickle, you know? So do some research behind it and really find somebody that you're aligned with, that you feel like
Yep.
you could work with, right? Like all those things kind of matter.
Yes.
But you can learn it. It's a very simple process, right? There's
Hmm.
only a few things that you absolutely need to do to move your business forward, but you
Hmm.
have to consistently do those things. So
Yes.
if you can learn those simple things and do them consistently, I swear to you, you will have success. You will.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Tell us about your group, because you now have a group that is really for all of network marketing, right? So we have our
Yeah.
own, we get access to her privately in our Color Street world, but tell us about what you're doing now with
Mhm.
being really a leader and a motivator
Mhm.
outside of Color Street, really opening up a little bit more, which I love. And I've been watching your journey and I'm like, yay, I'm like your cheerleader, your silent cheerleader.
I can hear you. I can hear it. Believe me, I hear you, Cherry on. Um, so what I found was, so during like, my 4-year process, right? Like I jumped in, I didn't really have any knowledge, but what I did was I said, I am an awesome student. And I asked my upline, I said, just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. And what I learned is what was working and what wasn't working, right? So I took all the tools of what was working and I filter it into my team page and really try to get people to get on board, do the systems, create the habits.
Mhm.
So as my team was having success, people around me and network marketing kept on asking me questions about how are you doing this? And they weren't with College Street, they were with other companies. And I would get on Zoom calls with other people in other companies and tell them like what I was doing. And I was like, even though I want to help so many people, it was kind of like sucking up my time, which,
Right.
time is precious. Like we don't ever get it back. And the whole
Yes.
purpose of me going into network marketing was to make sure that I had time to work at home or wherever I wanted to, but then also shut it down and have time with my family.
Right.
So what I decided to do was to open it up to everyone and create a group that anybody can get into. And I go inside. right now I'm just doing once a week. Every Wednesday I come in with like a good nugget of information about how you can move your business forward with network marketing. And then I will post in there on the daily, just different like little tips about, social media, creating systems, habits, mindset, huge, even though people don't really want to work on it, it's huge. Because I want my big vision now is changing the way that people look at network marketing. You can call it network marketing, social selling, direct sales, MLM, right? It's all kind of encompassed all like in one. And what we really need to do is change society's vision or perspective on it. Like it is such an amazing business structure, and that needs to change. Society needs to realize that people in network marketing are influencers, but yet people think of it as two different categories, and it's not. It's really not. They're both the same thing. It's just that network marketers sometimes are doing things the old school way of maybe like spamming a little bit too much, where influencers don't really spam, but influencers, and I don't think people realize it, takes a really long time for them to get from zero to influencer, right? And they trust the process in between, not getting paid. Right, until they're an influencer, and then they build their brand, build who they are as a person, so people know, like, and trust them, and then they start getting the sales. It's the same thing in network marketing, but when people jump into network marketing, sorry, I'm like on a rant. I'm like, oh, get me on a topic like this, and I'll talk.
I love it.
I just have like such a passion for it, because I just don't think people realize how much money can be made, right? Like there's no income ceiling. When I was at the hospital, the income ceiling was ridiculous. Like I could only make 2 to 5% more each year as a raise, unless I wanted to work overtime, which was taking time away from my family. Don't want to do that. Like that doesn't serve me as a mom. Like that doesn't make me a better mom when I'm outside of the house and not having that time freedom, like being told you have to work holidays or be on call. Like, no, I would rather wake up at 5 a.m. and my kids wake up at 8 and get 3 hours of work in. And then at 8 o'clock be like, all right, guys, what do you want for breakfast? Go off to school, not having my family be in chaos, more of a calm house situation as they're going out the door. You know what I mean? So, and I think, I really want to change that whole perspective on network marketing. It really needs to change, because people just don't understand. You can make $100 a month to $50,000 a month. Like, and it's true and it's real. And I know people who are doing it, right? And if they can do it, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Like, so it's just having the tools, the systems, and the habits, and being consistent and believing not only in yourself, but in that system. Remember what I said, the influencer is going from 0 to 100. And that whole period of time, they are not getting paid, not nearly as much as a network marketer is getting paid, right? Like they're getting nil, right? So if you can trust that process and give yourself time, it does not happen overnight. You have to play the long game. You absolutely have to play the long game. And if you're willing to do that, magic.
I love it.
Yes.
Magic.
Right?
Call ourselves marketing managers, so we believe in magic around here.
Yeah,
it's very similar. It's funny because, Obsessed with Success is all about working with people who are dedicated to their goals, right? They have this goal in mind and they're dedicated to that goal so much so that they are obsessed with success, right? And I think that, the reason why we talk a lot about networking direct sales is because that's really, well, one, that's where, that's where I kind of grew up in marketing. I learned more from being in direct sales for 2 years than I did in probably 20 years, of working. But the idea of the shift from our, pay for time, right? So you go to
Mhm.
work for 40 hours and you make X number of dollars an hour, and maybe you make some commissions and things like that, to being able to work from anywhere in the world. Kim's leaving for Jamaica tomorrow for 2 weeks. She's going to be sitting on the beach, sipping
Woo!
mimosas on our
Yes.
social for our clients, So it's I think that's the real American dream, and we're really starting to see society kind of catch up now with this great resignation and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So it's refreshing. And one of the things, and then I'll wrap it up because I know you've got something at 12, but one of the things that I loved most about Margaret when I sought her out was that she was just her icon is a palm tree, and she's like a living palm tree, right? She's like easy breezy, like just fun to be around. And even when I literally called her up and I was like, hi, I want to be on your team. And even then I was like a nightmare. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sign up. No, I'm going to do it. And she wasn't pressure. She was just like, hey, she was just very real and very, she had formed a relationship with me through really just being herself and being authentic. And I loved that. And even now to this day, right? It's like that's her style. And I think we can all really learn from that, because
Mhm.
we tend to get caught up in the goals, and we want to do this and we want to earn the trip and everything. But
Mhm.
that stuff is awesome and you should have those goals, but how you get there is not spamming people and pressure
Mhm.
tactics and all that kind of stuff. And for me that just made sense, that even her group, it's screw it, just do it, right? Is the new group.
It is.
Screw it,
Yes.
just do it. Screw the mom jeans is her VIP group, which
Yeah.
I freaking love, right? So I was like, this lady is awesome. Like I just freaking love her. So
Yes. I do
um
have a little bit of an edge to myself, but
I love
yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, like sometimes you have to say, just screw it. Let me just try, right? Let me
yeah,
try. It's okay. I hate using the word fail because you're not really failing, you're actually learning,
right,
right?
right,
Like I always tell people things are hard, but what you need to do is walk and cry. Walk and cry, right?
right.
Little tiny steps at a time. Little tiny steps. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
as long as you
And
take the step.
yeah, yeah, and you're right. And it is so important to have goals, but it's so important to like get there in a particular way, like being organically yourself, right? Like figuring out how can I help this person, not
Right,
necessarily how do I get the sale? How do I get the sale?
right,
Figure
right.
out how you can help her or him first, right? Like being that
Absolutely.
genuine connection going on, So that's like super, super important.
Um,
Yeah.
all right, so let's wrap it up so we can let you go and be more awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish with what was the what's the number one, what's like the best nugget you've given so far? And you gave us so many good ones, so thank you for that. But what's like one nugget that you would maybe share in your group that's been
Mhm.
like the one that you're like, oh man, I gotta do this one this week. Like they gotta hear this thing.
Um, it's probably going to be like follow up. A lot of people
Yeah,
do not follow up. Like I told you, it took 4 years to get me from A to Z, right? And if she didn't keep on being persistent, it would have never happened, but she
right.
was never like pushy. She'd be
Mhm.
like, wow, I do got this over here. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
we would laugh about it, right? But I saw her success. I was always watching her journey. People are always watching you, right?
Yeah.
So always just follow up, keep that connection. Even if they said no, don't cross them off the list. Never, ever cross anyone off any list that you have. And second nugget, always work from a list, right?
Yes.
Always work from a list. And I don't mean like, okay, like, oh, yep, like I got to ask her. No, just have a list of people that you're keeping connections with and following up with, right? Create that system, right? Another nugget, create a system of a
Yeah.
list, right? And work from it and consistently follow up, like on everything, giving out samples, a customer, right? If you do parties, hosting, right? If you ask somebody about the business opportunity, you should be following up with every single section and keeping a list of all of that, right? You have to be able to know that you are working strategically from a system that is going to work, right? You got to be super focused with your time. Another nugget, super focused with your time, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Hard. You know how you protect your peace? You protect your time too.
totally.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This lady,
Of
by the way, is a
course.
real deal. All these things she's talking about, she does. She does them well, and she teaches us how to do them, and now other people too. So
Yes.
I just appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Oh, you're
for hanging
welcome.
out with us.
Anytime. Anytime. This is fun. I love talking about this stuff. It's my passion.
I love it. I love it. And it definitely, we can tell.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yay. Well, thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Margaret DiMarzio. Screw it. Just do it. You can check out her group. It's really awesome. If you want more nuggets from her. And
Yes.
next week, we're going to have Dave. I hope I'm saying his name right. Dave Lubazic. He's the brain for rent. He is very fun. We're going to talk to him next week. He's going to give us some tips as well, a little different perspective.
Great.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully it doesn't snow too much. And we will see you soon. I will.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Like I said, next week is going to be Dave Lubazic. He's awesome. He runs the Focus Turbine, which is super, super cool. And Brain for Rent is his business. It's super awesome. I've actually worked with him in real life before as well. So check us out next Friday. We'll be here. It's going to be at noon again. We went a little early today for Margaret, but she's worth it. Isn't she awesome? So I hope you all have a great day. If you're in New England, I hope that we don't get hit too hard with this rain and snow. We love you all, guys. Go off and be obsessed with success and crush those goals today. Bye, guys.